Hey, juniors, I want to give you a little bit of a, um, yeah, there we are. There we're back. Hey, I just want to go over quickly what we're going to be doing this week. Here we are in Schoology, and we're going to drive down. I should have actually probably put this week's stuff in this folder, but I didn't. So you're going to go to the folder that says Welcome to the Anthropocene, and in there you're going to find one assignment. What I would suggest you do before you do anything else is when you open this up, go ahead and do all the reading. You're going to be learning about the signal-ellipse effect, which is this statistical sampling bias issue that occurs in the fossil record. I don't know why this graphic isn't loading at the moment, but there should be a graphic here, a little animation loading for that. There it is. Of course, and ammonites. You're going to be reading about in Chapter 4 of the Sixth Extinction, not only the Cretaceous Paleogene or Cretaceous Tertiary extinction, but also how that extinction affected not only the dinos, but also the ammonites. The ammonites, of course, being an organism that spreads its eggs and so forth out across the surface of the water, and so anything that affects the surface of the marine realm really massively, of course, would affect the ammonites, their ability to reproduce successfully. So, of course, you can't evolve away from an asteroid impact. It's gonna knock you out no matter what. So. Okay, so what we're really doing, though, this week is we're really focusing in on some readings. So what I've done is I've given you several readings. The two key ones are actually these bottom two. One is the signal-ellipse paper from 1982 that actually defined the signal-ellipse effect. So it's kind of that one of these, in science we have these, sometimes these papers come out in journals and they're what we call seminal pieces of work, and they're because they define something really, really important. And so the signal-ellipse effect in paleontology is one of those things. And so I've given you the signal-ellipse paper from 1982 to read. That's going to feel like ancient history to you guys, but 82 was just 3 years after or 2 years after Alvarez published his paper. So, and McLeod goes into talking about how to different ways of visualizing signal-ellipse. So there's a lot of graphics in the McLeod paper that are really interesting to help you visualize what's going on with the signal-ellipse effect. So Meldahl and Rampino and Adler, they focus in on sort of applying three different models of extinction as they run up to, and what the smearing of extinction might look like as you run up to an extinction boundary, and why the fossil record might look like it ends before the extinction boundary for that genus or species and so forth, or in other scenarios, stepwise and gradual. So those are all worth reading over. Now, when you read a paper like these, read the abstract, read the intro, read the conclusion, look at the figures. Don't feel like you have to go and read through everything in great detail. There's going to be a lot of stuff you don't understand, and that's to be expected. Okay, this is the cream of the crop type stuff, right? So, but if you can read these and understand these papers, you can, then you're in a great place. But focus on those parts of the papers, really. What I want you to do, though, is to take your range diagrams. Now, I gave you some of you some comments on your range diagrams. Really. They should look kind of stepwise mostly, because you should have them either the min or the max column sorted in your data so that they appear that way. And so your oldest should be your oldest genus or genera should be up near the top of your graph and on down to the ones that are actually still around or extant, as we say, toward the bottom of the graph, and of course times 0 on that side. And so it should look kind of like a curve down along a graph. But in there, what I want you to do is on the x-axis, make it more detailed so you can see more dates. And then I want you to identify using several things. There's the stratigraphy.org paper, which I gave you access, or the time scale, which I gave you access to here someplace. I'll put the link in here again if I don't have it, but I thought I did. So anyway, there's that. Yes, here it is, the ICS chart, okay, which is this. So this is the official International Geological Time chart, right? And these are all every one of these has a boundary in between it, and so you're looking at all of these, and so every one of these, there's these ages, epochs, periods, eras, eons, and then super eons, which we don't really get into too much, but So what I want you to do is identify important environmental moments, and some of that's going to be, clicking on these little guys here and seeing what was going on at that time, at the base of that time, or the top of it. Anyway, some of you have very, very short range diagrams where everything happened after the last mass extinction, but there's still stuff that's gone on globally or regionally that's worth noting. So I want you to mark those in your diagram, in your range diagram. And we would have done that in class, but we weren't in class, obviously, to do that. So then you're going to, in your discussion post, discuss these things. So just follow the procedure here, and you should be okay. But you should have a marked up range diagram with some things to talk about with regard to how these events, particularly if there's a mass extinction or two within your data range, line up with where your origination and extinction events occur, particularly the extinction events. Do they end before these things, before these boundaries and so forth? That's it. So if you have questions, email me. But that's the gist of things, guys. Have fun. It's just a discussion post. I'm going to change the date probably so it's due Tuesday next week. That's about as far back as I can push things right now. So we'll go with that. All right. Otherwise, have a great Christmas, guys. A great holiday season, and talk to you in January in 2021. All right.